Demonstrators rallied on the steps of the United States Supreme Court in Washington on Friday to mark the 2-year anniversary of the landmark court decision Citizens United versus the Federal Election Commission. Similar actions were held all across the country as participants protested corporate personhood and 2 years of unlimited private dollars in elections campaigns. The event was organized by the Occupy movements and the Move to Amend coalition, whose spokesperson David Cobb was present at Friday's rally in D.C.
In the 2 years since the Citizens United decision, we have seen a deluge of corporate money and special interest money come into American elections. American elections are literally for sale now, and we have seen for the most expensive election in the history, not only of the United States, but the history of the world. More money is going to be spent in the 2012 election than has ever been spent in the history of humanity. And most of that money are coming from large transnational corporations, many of them foreign corporations, and we don't even know where that money is coming from. And that is because of the outrageous decision, Citizens United versus Federal Election Commission.
The Supreme Court decision, delivered by a 5-4 majority on January 21, 2010, held that corporations have the same First Amendment rights as individuals and could spend unlimited amounts of money on political campaign advertisements. Proponents of the decision hail it as a victory for free speech rights, but opponents like Alec Karastesi of Occupy Faith, an interfaith support network for Occupy movements, say that Citizens United has had the opposite effect on freedom of speech.
It makes it more difficult for the voices of the actual individuals to be heard. When somebody has a lot of money and backs a politician, they're more likely to be heard. It's common sense. So if there's suddenly a corporation who is treated as an individual who also has lots of money, it just kind of takes the whole thing and flips it on its head. It makes it hard for those of us who are slightly more poor to be heard, no matter how many of us there are, because we're not seen as one giant collective. We're seen as small individuals versus this giant individual who has lots of money.
Corporations were not the only entities addressed by the Citizens United decision. Labor unions were also granted the broader powers to spend money on election campaign ads. Demonstrator Laura Unger works with the Communication Workers of America, a union that she says simply does not have the financial resources to influence political campaigns on the same scale as the larger corporate employers like Verizon that she and other employees must bargain with.
The amount of money that the companies have is, I don't remember the exact figure, but it's hundreds and hundreds of times more than what unions can spend. In fact, unions right now, almost most unions, including mine, are in financial trouble because we've lost so much membership because of the terrible economy and because of the attacks on bargaining rights. We can't possibly compete with them on money. All we could do is compete with them on trying to mobilize our members to go door to door and to educate them. But in terms of competing on money, it's like a drop compared to the Atlantic Ocean. We have no comparison at all.
2012 is an election year, and record amounts of corporate money are expected to be spent on campaigning advertisements as the United States enters its 3rd year under Citizens United. Move to Amend has engaged in a national campaign to amend the Constitution in order to reverse the decision. Occupy movements are also stepping up coordinated national events like Fridays in order to combat corporate domination of political and social life in the United States. This is David Doherty with the Real News Network.